Alright, so we're talking about proportions in 5.3 today. We talked about it in our vocabulary already. We've done a lot of this last year, so it's going to be kind of a review. The first time we're going to test for proportions, we're going to use looking for the values / unit rates. So when we're testing for values or unit rates, we're going to set them up in the form of a fraction because it's division. I don't know if you remember, but unit rates was the rate over 1. So that's what we're trying to figure out. We're trying to decide what is its value, what if its unit rate. So if I have 6 to 4, I'm going to set it up as a fraction. And the value of 6 to 4 is, I see her whispering it back there, 3 over 2. Okay? And then I have 8 to 12. Well, to find its value, I set it up as a fraction. 8 over 12, which gives me, are these two values equivalent? 3/2 and 2/3. No. Because they're not equivalent, they are not a proportion. So if I have 10 to 40, I can do 10 over 40, which gives me a value of 0.25 or 1/4. And then I have, you got to be careful with these decimals, those can look a little tricky sometimes. But that whole decimal goes in my numerator. And the value of 2.5 divided by 10 is also 0.25 or 1/4. Are these two values the same? Are they equivalent? Yes. Because they're equivalent, then yes, it forms a proportion. Question on those. Okay, well, you're going to try it. All right. Try those 4 right there. What did I get as the value for 1 to 2? 1/2. What did I get as the value for 5 to 10? Is it proportional? How do I know it's proportional? They have equal values. What was the value of 4 to 6? What was the value of 18 to 24? Are those proportional? No. How do we know those are not proportional? They do not have equal values. What was the value of 4.5 to 3? What was the value of 6 to 9? Okay, well, we might want them in either both fraction form or both decimal form. So if I change this to a fraction, it's 3 over 2. But are they proportional? No, not proportional. All right, what's the value of 1/2 to 1/4? So this one's a little tricky. You got to be careful. It's 1/2 over 1/4. So you could either type in 1/2 divided by 1/4 or type it in as the fraction, but you get 2. And the value of 8 to 4 is 2. Are those proportional? Yes. So that's one way to test for proportionality. The next method, which is what I prefer to use in everyday life, is cross products. For me, it just is faster and easier. But remember, cross products is basically cross multiplication. It's like the butterfly method. And the cross products property says that when cross products are equal, it forms a proportion. I can do cross products and they still not be proportional, right? But when the cross products are equal, then I also know it is a proportion. The biggest thing is just remembering to keep your order and keep it organized. So the first number is always going to be your numerator. Your second number is always going to be your denominator. So you have 6 over 9 equals 12 over 18. When we cross multiply 6 times 18, I get 108. And when I do 9 times 12, I get 108. Are the cross products equal? Yes. So is it proportional? Yes. And that's all you do today. So basically your calculator does most of the work today. You just have to set it up correctly. So if I have 2 to 3, does 2 to 3 show proportionality to 4 to 5? Well, 2 times 5 is 10, and 3 times 4 is 12. There's nothing I can multiply top and bottom by to get to 2/3 to get 4/5. So this is no. This is a big old not. Alright. I want you to try. We're going to skip the try it part. I want you to try on your own numbers 16 through 24. It really shouldn't take you too awful long. There's 9 problems there, but I guarantee it takes you less than 30 seconds to do each one of them. So I'll give you about 3 or 4 minutes. Make sure you're putting them in the right order, especially when you get into those fractions and decimals. about 30 more seconds. Alright, number 16, proportional or not? Yes or no?
Yes.
Number 16, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Number 17.
Yes.
Number 18. No. Good. Off to a good start. Number 19.
Yes.
Number 20.
No.
No. Did not work. Number 21.
No.
That one didn't work either. These with fractions, you got to be careful. This whole fraction is the numerator. So it's 21 over 2 over 3. And 16 over 6. So you're doing 6 times 21 halves, which gives you 63. And then 3 times 16, which gives me 48. All right, number 22, yes or no? Number 23. And number 24. No. Do we need to go over any of those? Have any questions about how we got the answers to those? Okay. If you look down, we've got a table with some X and Y's. Yes, ma'am.
I send out you have a tab to sign out.
Yes, ma'am. Alright, so we've got this table right here that has X and Y. Where do we see X and Y in math? Oh, you've been the first person to be able to tell me that today. On a coordinate plane. You remember this thing? Yeah? Unfortunately, I was talking to a high school math teacher earlier, and she's like, they've got to know this. This is one of the most important part of high school math. What is this?
That's the Y. No, X-axis.
It's a plus sign.
Yes, it's the x-axis. And the one that runs up and down is the y. What's in the middle?
Oh, I forgot.
The origin. Okay, very good, very good. And then what are the four pieces called?
Coordinates.
Quadrants. This is Q1. What quadrant is this?
Q4.
Look at you. Y'all remember. Q2 and Q3. Alright, very good. Y'all remember some stuff. When I have a point on an ordered pair, okay, what comes first? X, then Y. And when we graph the point, do you remember the song?
No.
Start at 0, start at 0, left or right, left or right. Then go up or down, then go up or down. Plot the point, plot the point. Y'all remember. So you gotta go out before you go up and down when plotting your points. Well, this table here are full of ordered pairs. You've got X and Y. This is X, this is Y. These are all ordered pairs. Ordered pairs are also ratios because it's comparing two things. It's comparing the X, how far out, to how far up it goes. So it's comparing two things. We can test to see if these points on a line are going to be proportional or not. We're going to do more of that next week. But we can look at it because they are ratios. We can set them up using either values or cross products to tell if they're proportional. You want to use values or cross products? Cross products. So we've got 1/2 to 3, and we've got 1 to 6. So if I want to set that up using cross products, I have 1/2 over 3 and 1 over 6. I can cross multiply 1/2 times 6, and that gives me 3. And then 3 to 1, which also gives me 3. Are those equal? Yes. So far it's proportional. You don't want to just test 2 points. You want to test multiple ones, because what if all the other ones actually don't fall in line? Okay, then you're going to get it wrong. So let's compare 1 to 6 to 3/2 to 9. 1 to 6. Come on.
You can do it.
Stop working, buddy.
Y'all realize we're on recording.
Oh, I forgot that.
Alright. Alright, well it didn't save our stuff, but it's okay. Alright, so if I have 1 to 6 and 3/2 to 9, what am I going to cross multiply here? 1 times 9, which is 9, and 6 times 3/2, which is 9. Are those equivalent? Yes. So far it's still proportional. Well, then I could test, well, what about 3/2 over 9 to 2 over 12? Are those going to be proportional? Well, what's 3/2 times 12? 18. And 9 times 2 is? So all of them have been proportional. So is this whole table proportional?
Yes.
Yes, it is proportional. Yes, sir.
Oh, so when you do that, I didn't ask you to split the one, and I multiply 6 times 1/2, and then you multiply 1 times 3, and you get the equivalent 2 like that.
Alright, so these tables are running horizontal, but they're still the same. We still have an x to y relationship. You want x over y. So I have 1 to 2 being compared to 2 to 4. When I cross multiply, 1 times 4 is 4, and 2 times 2 is 4. Well, that one checks out. I want to test out the other ones. I have 3 to 6 and 4 to 8. 3 times 8 is 24. 6 times 4 is 24. Are those proportional? So is this table proportional? Yes. So when I graph this line will also be proportional. Alright, y'all test number 8.
Do you have to do this thing, or could you do student?
Well, you could do 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 4 is 16. The minute I see one that is not proportional, that means we're going to go ahead and say no to the whole thing. The cool thing about the table being this way is that it's already set up as your fractions.
Could you still do
You can still find the value.
if you want to send it over? And then you want to do it, or you just give it to me?
Because that's only comparing x's to y. You want to compare x to y. You want x and y for each ratio. Eli asked a good question. He said, can I do it this way? What do you think?
No.
Is this a ratio?
No.
Is it comparing two things? No, because that's X, X, X. You gotta compare the X and the Y. So when you do cross products, one times 8 is 8, and 7 times 2 is 14. We automatically realize that this is not a proportion.
So what I do, like sideways paper,
Alright. 2 times 10 is 20. 5 times 4 is 20. So that checks out. I want to verify one more. 10 times 6 is 60. 4 times 15 is. So because they're proportional, then this whole table is proportional. Alright. Any questions about the tables? No? Okay. Alright, we're going to skip that one for now. You can also look at rates. Remember, rates and ratios are the same thing. So here we're comparing inches to hours. You just need to make sure that if you're doing inches on top for the first one, inches need to be on top for the second one. So I always label it. I've got inches to hours. So I've got 7 to 9 and 42 to 54. You can solve it either using cross products or you can solve it using value. I do 7 times 54 and I get 378. I do 9 times 42. I get 378. Does this form a proportion? Yes. This one I've got players to teams. So I've got 12 players to 21 teams. And I've got 15 players to 24 teams. I can do cross products of 12 times 24 and get 288. And 21 times 15 get 315. Are those proportional? No. All right, y'all try those 3. All right, number 33. Proportional or not? Not. Number 34. Proportional or not?
Yes.
Number 35.
Yes.
yes.
Good deal, good deal, good deal. Alright, I'm gonna have you do a ticket out the door for me today, so go ahead and make sure your name is on that piece of half sheet of notebook paper that I passed out to you. And you can number it 1 through 5. This is your ticket out the door for me. So, answer those 5 questions. Make sure your name is on it, and then you can hand it to me and pack up.